When Meghan Markle stepped away from the British royal family in 2020, she envisioned a future filled with entrepreneurial success, creative freedom, and global influence. She had the Netflix deals, the podcast contracts, and the dream of building a lifestyle empire that would rival the biggest names in the industry. But in January 2026, a shocking revelation has completely shifted the narrative surrounding the Duchess of Sussex. What was meant to be her triumphant return to the business world has turned into what critics are calling a catastrophic failure, and the evidence is impossible to ignore. This is the story of how Meghan Markle's carefully crafted image began to crumble, and how a single website glitch exposed the uncomfortable truth she never wanted the world to see. To understand how we got here, we need to rewind to March 2024. That's when Meghan Markle announced her most ambitious project yet, a lifestyle brand called American Riviera Orchard. The concept was simple, yet elegant, a curated collection of artisanal products that embodied the sophisticated California lifestyle Meghan and Prince Harry had embraced in their Montecito mansion. There was just one problem. Meghan couldn't trademark the name American Riviera Orchard because you can't legally trademark a geographical location. The logo she designed was mocked mercilessly online, with people comparing it to everything from a squashed bug to something far more anatomical. It was an embarrassing start, but Meghan pressed on, rebranding the venture as Ever in 2025. The relaunch came with bold promises. Meghan told Bloomberg in August 2025 that she had scaled up from ordering a few thousand jars to a staggering purchase order of 1 million. It was a massive gamble, a bet that her celebrity status and royal connection would translate into massive consumer demand. She positioned herself as a lifestyle guru, launched a Netflix series called With Love, Meghan, and introduced a podcast titled Confessions of a Female Founder. Everything was in place for what should have been her triumphant commercial comeback, except it wasn't. On January 4, 2026, something happened that Meghan's team never anticipated. A glitch on the As Ever website allowed customers to add absurd quantities of products to their shopping carts, and when they did, the website inadvertently revealed the exact inventory numbers for each item. What those numbers showed was shocking. According to detailed analysis by Royal News Network, Meghan still had nearly 650,000 products sitting in inventory after the Christmas shopping season. Her signature fruit spread trio gift box, she had 137,429 boxes left in stock. Her birthday-inspired candle, over 62,000 units gathering dust. Her flower sprinkles, the product she actually promoted on her Netflix show, more than 80,000 containers unsold. The most damning detail, in a 24-hour period, Meghan's entire As Ever store sold an estimated 236 products. Let me repeat that. 236 products across her entire inventory in an entire day. To put this in perspective, at the current sales rate, it would take Meghan over 7 years to sell through her existing inventory. For some products, like the flower sprinkles, it would take an astonishing 24 years. This isn't just a slow start. This is what business analysts call a catastrophic miscalculation. When the inventory numbers leaked, Meghan's team went into damage control mode. They reached out to Newsweek and other outlets, confirming that the stock information was broadly accurate, but spinning the narrative to claim the business was incredibly successful. Some British tabloids took the bait. The Times of London published calculations suggesting Meghan had sold $36 million worth of products. But those numbers were based on faulty math and wildly optimistic assumptions. The reality, Meghan likely has between $20 and $21 million worth of unsold inventory sitting in warehouses. And the longer those products sit, the more money she loses. Here's what makes this particularly concerning. Meghan used a classic scarcity marketing tactic at launch, creating limited product drops that sold out quickly. That generated headlines and created buzz. But instead of using those initial sales as a baseline to gradually scale up production, Meghan jumped from a few thousand units directly to ordering 1 million jars. It was reckless, impulsive, and showed a fundamental misunderstanding of how to build a sustainable brand. As one PR expert, Renee Smith of The Eticism, put it in a recent interview with The Express, a lifestyle brand without a lifestyle point of view doesn't go far. Smith warned that if Meghan continues on her current trajectory, sporadic product drops, mixed messaging, and a lack of clarity between personal, commercial, and cause-driven work, then 2026 could deliver more of the same. Weird visibility, pockets of fan engagement, and very little long-term brand equity being built. This isn't Meghan's first stumble in the post-royal world. Since leaving the UK, virtually every major project she and Harry have launched has underperformed or outright flopped. Her podcast, Archetypes, was canceled after one season. Her children's book, The Bench, received mixed reviews and modest sales. Her Netflix docuseries generated headlines, but also intense criticism. And now, With Love, Meghan, her lifestyle cooking show, has been panned by critics and struggled in the ratings, though Netflix, perhaps out of contractual obligation, has greenlit a second season anyway. The pattern is clear. Meghan wants immediate, massive success without putting in the foundational work required to achieve it. She wants to be the next Martha Stewart or Gwyneth Paltrow without understanding that those empires were built over decades, not months. She wants the glory without the grind. And the public is noticing. According to polling data, Meghan's popularity in the United States has been declining. She began 2025 with a 43% approval rating and a net positive rating of plus 22. By mid-year, that had dropped to 30%, with 26% of Americans actively disliking her. Royal experts are now saying that Prince Harry and Meghan's Hollywood star power is rapidly fading, 5 years after their break from the monarchy. Now comes the latest twist in this ongoing saga. Multiple reports suggest Meghan is planning to return to the United Kingdom for the first time in 4 years. She hasn't set foot on British soil since attending Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in September 2022. The occasion? The Invictus Games countdown event in Birmingham, scheduled for July 2026. But there's a major caveat. Meghan will only make the trip if Prince Harry succeeds in his ongoing legal battle to secure taxpayer-funded police protection for his family. Harry has been fighting for years to restore the automatic security he lost when they stepped back from royal duties in 2020. He's argued that it's not safe to bring Meghan and their children, Prince Archie, now 6, and Princess Lilibet, now 4, to the UK without proper protection. He's made personal appeals to government ministers and sued in court, so far without success. A new security review is underway, with a decision expected in January 2026. Sources close to the couple say security is always going to be the deciding factor in whether Meghan returns. But critics see something else at play: desperation for positive publicity. Think about the optics. Meghan's brand is struggling, her American ventures are underperforming, her popularity is declining. What better way to recapture headlines and sympathy than to make an emotional return to the country where she faced tabloid harassment and claims she was driven out? Royal watchers note that Prince Harry has reportedly hired a crisis manager, a sign that the palace is preparing for potential fallout from the Sussexes' visit. The tension between the brothers remains ice cold, with virtually no communication between the two households. Despite the mounting evidence of struggle, Meghan isn't backing down. Reports indicate she's working on a cookbook planned for spring 2026, drawing on her family history and culinary background. She's also planning another product launch on January 13, 2026. even though she still has hundreds of thousands of products from her previous launches sitting unsold in warehouses. This raises serious questions about Meghan's business judgment and the people advising her. Any competent business consultant would tell you that launching new products when you still have massive inventory from previous launches is financial madness. It suggests either desperation or a complete disconnect from reality. PR expert Renee Smith's advice is blunt. Stop thinking in moments. You don't need to say yes to everything. Start building a narrative. Create brand rhythm and strategy. Pick a lane and commit to it. But that kind of patient, strategic thinking doesn't seem to be in Meghan's playbook. She wants blockbuster success, and she wants it now. The problem is that the public isn't buying what she's selling, literally and figuratively. So what is the new narrative that this report has revealed? It's this. Meghan Markle is not the business-savvy entrepreneur she presented herself as. Despite all the advantages, celebrity status, royal connection, media attention, and substantial financial backing, she has failed to translate those assets into a successful commercial enterprise. The website glitch that exposed her inventory numbers wasn't just an embarrassing technical failure, it was a glimpse behind the carefully constructed facade, revealing a struggling brand that's hemorrhaging money and desperately trying to maintain the illusion of success. The contrast between the spin, incredibly successful, and the reality, 236 products sold in 24 hours, is stark. It's a reminder that in the age of the internet, it's increasingly difficult to hide uncomfortable truths. Data leaks, website glitches, and digital footprints tell stories that press releases can't cover up. Meghan didn't expect this. She didn't expect that her million-jar gamble would backfire so spectacularly. She didn't expect that a simple website error would expose the fragility of her business empire. She didn't expect that after all the planning, the Netflix deals, the podcast launches, and the lifestyle branding, she'd be facing the prospect of 7 years to clear her current inventory. But that's exactly what's happened. And as she contemplates a return to the UK, likely as much for publicity as for supporting Harry's Invictus games, the question remains. Can Meghan Markle recover from this, or is this the beginning of the end for her post-royal ambitions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the narrative has shifted, and it didn't shift in the direction Meghan Markle wanted.